Here's how to build stacked iron farms in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now first of all, you really want to make sure that you are at least 100 blocks away from every other village. That also includes iron farms, working stations, village breeders, basically everything that has to do with villagers. Otherwise, you will have problems with villagers not connecting to their proper beds. Now once you check that this is the case, you want to start by sticking up about 10 blocks. Then you want to leave the top one and remove the ones that are below, like this. As the next step, what you want to do is to extend by 4 blocks into this direction and do the same thing to this side as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. Now you want to fill this in so you have a solid 5x5 platform. And after doing this, you want to stack another layer on top. Just mirror the same platform, so you should have a 5x5x2 cube. Now, the next thing that we're gonna do is to take out some beds and place 5 of them in these locations, come to the other side and then repeat the same thing, so 5 beds. Now you want to remove all these blocks that are at this height, so you just have the 5x5 platform at the bottom left, and then you want to place 5 more beds below the ones that you placed right here, and do the same thing at the other side, so again 5 beds. As the next step, what I want you to do is to stack another layer of solid blocks on top. This layer should again have the size 5x5, and once you completed that layer, you want to extend it by 1 block into every direction. And of course, fill in all the remaining blocks, so you should end up having a 7x7 platform, and this platform should have the same center as the layers below. As the next step, what I want you to do is to place 2 blocks in the corners. Now I'm using some logs because I think they look nice at the end, but you can use any kind of other blocks as well. Then you want to place 5 working stations in these positions. I'm using fletching tables right here, but you can use basically every other workstation that you want. Maybe you want to trade with the villagers later, and the workstations will depend on that. Now on top of our workstations, you want to place some more blocks, and in this case I'm using less blocks because again it has that nice aesthetics, but if you want to, you can use solid blocks or any other kind of blocks. Now I placed 5 blocks, so 1 on top of each of these workstations. And then what you want to do is to place a torch in the middle that gives us a light source so that no hostile mobs will spawn here and kill the villagers. Speaking of villagers, you now will need to get 20 villagers into that space. I know that sounds tedious, but basically what you can do is to get only 2 villagers to this farm from your nearest village or villager breeder. By the way, I got a good tutorial for a villager breeder in the video description if you want to check that out. You can do this either by minecart or by boat, and then you can use a lead to pull them all the way up to your farm. Maybe use some scaffoldings or some ladders to easily access this spot, then drop them off on top of the platform. This is the first one on the platform. Let's do this with the second one as well. Here we are with the 2 villagers on top of the platform. Remove the boats and then just drop them some bread or carrots or potatoes. After they shared the food, they will start breeding, as you can see by the heart particles. And as you can see, this will result in 1 extra villager. Now you just have to wait until you got 20 villagers right here. If they stop breeding for some reason, just drop them some more food and wait until all the children are grown up. Now I got 20 villagers right here, and just by the way, if you see some villagers with this green coating, these are nitwits and you don't want to have them in your farm. You must remove them by killing them and wait until another children is born and grown up. I'm sorry guys, but this is what we have to do in order to get all the iron. And now as you can see, this already resulted in 1 iron golem spawning. For now you want to push it off the platform, because we now need to add some more blocks to our construction. First of all, you want to place another layer on top of this wall, this time out of solid blocks. Then you want to fill in the inside, so like this, that you have a 7x7 platform out of solid blocks, and you want to extend it on all 4 sides by 2 blocks. Now this will give you a cross shape like this, and you want to fill in all the blocks to get a square platform again. In the end, this should this time give you an 11 by 11 platform, and you want to put a 2-block wall around the entire thing. By the way, again, here's another iron golem that spawned. At this point, for the case that there are iron golems outside of the farm that you pushed off earlier, you want to remove them as well. Use some lava so they don't influence your trades, because if you kill villagers or iron golems by hand, this will result in worse trades, and you don't want this, of course. As the next step, let's talk about water. We're gonna need some water streams to push the iron golems into one corner while there is the kill chamber later. For this, you will need a temporal infinite source of water. You can do this with this shape and then just place water in these two corners so you have an infinite source of water. And then what you want to do is to come to one of the corners, this just depends on your choice, and then place a triangle out of solid blocks like this. You want to place a source of water on top of this corner right here. You don't want to put water sources on top of these two blocks, and then just continue with all these blocks next to the triangle out of blocks, fill them with water source blocks, and then you should just have one empty block in the corner opposite to our main water source. Now you can go ahead and remove the infinite source of water, because we don't need any more water streams. But as the next step, what you want to do is to come to the corner that is opposite to our water stream, and there you want to add 5 solid blocks like this. What you want to do is to place a sign in this position, should be 1 block above the water, then one more sign right here, and repeat the same thing at the other side, so in this position right there. Then just place lava in between of all these 3 signs, and it should stay where it is. Now the last thing that we need to do is to break this block right here and replace it with a hopper. Then you want to go to the other side and remove these 2 blocks. Now you should see that the nozzle of the hopper should point outwards, and right there you want to place a double chest. At this point we can't open the chest because there are solid blocks above it, so let's remove them and replace them with stairs that are pointed like that, so that you can easily open the chest, but you don't have any openings or holes in the wall. Now whenever iron golems or cats are killed, all the items will end up being in the large chest right here. And if you want to easily access this double chest, you can just place some scaffoldings at the side of the double chest, so they stack up and will allow you to easily go to the chest and collect all the items. Now this is one iron golem farm setup, but let's talk about stacking these cells. Basically, it's pretty simple to stack iron farms. The first thing that you want to do is to go to the center of the platform right here and stack up by 14 blocks. Now we are at Y110 in this case, so you want to go up all the way to Y124. Of course, this depends on your individual height that you built this on. Then you want to extend out by 2 blocks into every single direction, which will give you a 5-block cross. You want to fill in all the blocks in the corners, so you have a full 5x5 platform, and then you just want to place another layer on top of that platform. You want to place a temporal block in this position and another one on top, remove the one below, and extend out by 3 blocks into every single direction, giving you a 7-block cross, and then fill this in again. Before we continue, make sure to remove all the blocks that are part of this column. What you want to do is to place 2 blocks in the corners again, as we did with the first iron farm, and then just leave out the working station part and continue with the glass part above them. So again, do not place in beds or working stations yet. We will do this later after we got villagers into that cell. Because basically our construction right here constitutes a village in the game mechanics, and we need to construct another village in order to stack another iron farm on top of here. If we would just transport villagers to the upper farm the regular way, they would simply connect with our lower farm and will not give us higher rates. So now, in order to stack the iron farms, you want to grab some blocks and you want to go to one side and extend out by 100 blocks. Now that you got this, you want to make this 2 blocks wide. You want to remove these 2 blocks that are above the bridge and also add a wall at the side, but as you can see, you can leave open the lower side of that wall. Then again, you want to make sure that along the entire length of the bridge there is no village in a 100 block radius. Again, by checking that we want to prevent villagers from connecting to other existing villagers. Now at the very end of the bridge, what you want to do is to place down a bed and another one a few blocks in front. Then you want to place down a working station. I'm using composters right here, but you can use any other working station. Then another working station a few blocks in front, like this. Now you want to take 2 villagers to this spot and they should connect with the beds and the working stations, which you can see with the green particles. If you got problems with the villagers connecting to other beds or working stations, you can also go ahead and create a nether portal at the side of the bridge. And then you want to take the villagers through that nether portal and they should instantly link with the beds and the working stations. Once you really make sure that both of the villagers are connected with the bed and the working station, what you want to do is to break the bed at the back side, so right here. Then you want to replace it a few blocks in front of the working station and the villager should reconnect with the bed. Do this with the other bed again. So replace it in this position, and as you can see, the villager should again go ahead and connect with the bed. The next step will be to remove the working station and replace it a few blocks in front of the bed, and again you should see that the villager connects with the working station again. Do this with the other working station as well for the other villager, and again make sure that the villager connects to the working station. And now we just gonna repeat this cycle over and over again. And you want to continue this process until you are at the iron farm and really make sure that every time you repeat this, the villager is linked with the working station or the bed. Now what we're doing right here is very easy. These 2 villagers again constitute a village, and by moving the working stations and the beds, we simply move the center of the constituted village. And by doing this with 2 villagers, 2 beds and 2 composters, we ensure that they aren't connected with the other village below the second iron farm. Whenever one of the villagers is accidentally connected to any other working station or bed than these 2, maybe some you left around the bridge, you will have to remove the other working stations or beds and redo the entire process. Also, I recommend doing this at daytime, because then they will be easily connected to the workstations, and at night this might not be the case that quickly. Now once you got to the very end of the bridge, with the next cycle, what you can do is to place the working stations and the beds at their proper places. So similar to the first farm, the workstations belong below the glass blocks right here, and the first 2 beds should be placed on top of that platform right there. Do this with the other bed as well. Then replace the 2 blocks of the wall and remove the entirety of that bridge. And now you can go ahead and place all the remaining workstations. After that, continue with the remaining beds at this level, so 5 more at the other side. Then again, we want to remove this platform right here underneath the beds and replace the platform with 10 more beds, 5 more at this side, and you should have 20 beds and 20 workstations at our second village as well. Now just go ahead and start breeding them and wait until you have 20 working and grown-up villagers at your second iron farm as well. Now just repeat everything that you did for the first iron farm for the second iron farm as well. So a 7x7 roof that is extended by 2 blocks to every side. We already got the first iron golem spawning, so a very good sign. And a second one is there as well. We got the 2-block wall, the water streams, the killing mechanism, and a collection system. Of course, it would have been very practical to do it the same way as we did with the low one. That means this collection system above the one at the lower farm. That would allow us to access both collection systems more conveniently, but sadly I didn't think that far. Now if for any reason 2 stacked iron farms don't give you enough iron, then you could stack up to 2 more iron farms on top of this. 4 iron farms are the max possible, and by the way, whenever using the farm, you will need to stay within a 64 block radius to all the farms so that iron golems will spawn in your simulation distance. At this point, if you liked the tutorial and it helped you for your survival world, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I appreciate all support that I get, and then I hope we see us again in the next video. See ya!